All right, so it looks like BlizzCon protests began to officially organize in response to the Hong Kong controversy. Did we expect anything else to happen other than this? I mean, like, really, right now, BlizzCon is a name synonymous with mud. Everybody's got a bad taste with Blizzard in their mouth. And the article I had done last weekend talking about the 5% investment by Tencent into Blizzard is partially the reason that we're seeing the responses that we're seeing from Twitter's from Blizzard's official Twitter response in China. Those things that I reported on kind of making us sick to our stomachs, at least those of us that believe in democracy. This article stating in news that will come as no surprise to anyone, word has surfaced of an organized protest scheduled for the first day of BlizzCon. Mobilization efforts are being arranged by nonprofit organization Fight for the Future, as well as by the organizers of a protest BlizzCon subreddit. So people on Reddit doing something, banding together. Wow. In real life, that should be an interesting crowd. Fight for the Future has opened up a delicate website to help those interested in joining in the protest, along with a Discord and with efforts organized via social media. The protest is set for November 1st outside of the Anaheim Convention Center. BlizzCon is going to be entertaining. At the very least, BlizzCon's going to be so entertaining, and I hope to be here watching it with you guys live on stream, because I'm going to just soak up every juicy, dramatic second of the BlizzCon event. But it is tied to some very, very serious things happening in the world today, like China's oppression on Hong Kong, stuff of that nature. But when I did some research onto this Fight for the Future kind of organization, and I researched it, and I saw that, you know, some of the statements in here were a little bit ignorant by the Gamers for Freedom, and I don't think they necessarily understand the totality of what's happening behind the scenes. I feel like this Fight for the Future page and this Gamers for Freedom page is kind of just scratching the surface of the real problem. You know, they're talking about censorship, and that's a very important issue, obviously. But when, you know, I read a lot of this article, and for me to see like the leader of this organization using, you know, expletives and stuff didn't seem very #professional to me. I just was like, hey, you know, like if the leader's kind of using that kind of language to get his point across, it just didn't seem like a really good response, a positive one. And you know, everybody's entitled to use expletives, but, you know, it doesn't give legitimacy to what it is that they're fighting for. And I get that they're fighting for censorship, and I'm glad that there's some kind of movement out there to combat what it is that we're seeing from Blizzard. But I don't think that they're completely understanding the situation. And I reported this on the weekend that, you know, while Gamers for Freedom is just kind of fighting what is the surface of the censorship situation, that what lies underneath is much more debilitating to gamers out there, and that is Tencent. Tencent is a Chinese company that is investing in games companies, American game companies like Riot. They own Riot, 100% of Riot, so they own League of Legends. Tencent also has a 40% stake in Epic Games. Tencent is in every game that you play in the States, and they're Chinese-controlled Chinese government that controls this company, because the CEO of Tencent actually is in the Chinese Congress. And I think if this particular organization understood that it would be much more effective of a fight against what it is the true problem here, and that is Chinese government trying to essentially own American companies. That is a big problem. It's much bigger than just the surface censorship that we're seeing here. It's much bigger than just the reason why Blizzard reacted the way that they did is because Tencent has a 5% stake in Activision Blizzard. And before you guys say, oh, 5% isn't enough, let me tell you that Activision Blizzard is worth $37 billion. So the investment of Tencent is somewhere near $2 billion. And of course, Blizzard doesn't want to lose all that Chinese, you know, money and all those wonderful people there that want to play the Tencent market, as it were. So, while I appreciate that there are people out there that want to fight these types of things, I would also just say do a little digging and realize that Tencent really is the problem. That it's more than just an Activision Blizzard problem. Look a little bit deeper, and what you'll find is that there's tons and tons of what I would tantamount to espionage. I mean, like, we're getting to the point where China is trying to find a way to infiltrate, and for whatever reason, other than that, it's more than money to me. In my eyes, it's more than just about the profits and the money. It's a way of China being able to get a hold of American consumers. To what end, I don't know, but I don't like the fact that it's open for the Chinese government to be so heavily inserted into the American culture as it is through our own American capitalist corporate culture. I mean, the only reason why they have that opportunity is because, of course, of capitalism. So there has to be some rules, some boundaries, some regulations that I thought the FTC had, which is the Federal Trade Commission. I thought there was some type of like, hey, by the way, if you're a Chinese government, you cannot invest into American companies. and yes, like Red says, they already succeeded in infiltration, which is a very true statement. Thank you, Red. You made it on this video, bro. And he's right. He's absolutely right. You guys should wake up and realize what's going on. And I hope that the message gets out there that it's not just like a censorship thing. This is an infiltration thing. It's much bigger story than what's being reported by, the larger publications like PC Gamer and Kotaku and all these gaming company magazines that you're seeing out there. It's much bigger than what's being reported. Like, no, I don't see anybody talking about it in this manner. And there really needs to be this conversation put out there. Like people. So the people that do know about Tencent, I don't know if they understand just how much of a hold on the game industry that Tencent has. Not just the game industry, but on telecommunications, on many other types of industry sectors out there. So anyhow, thank you, everyone. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about this issue, and I will see you on the next vid.